But basically it could come out of force. But the bigger problem, and that's very easy to understand, when there is military or physical oppression and force by one group over the other. It's simple, you can see it. But the more subtle and more problematic area is where it happens under so-called democratic systems. And democracy is no guarantee for justice and human rights. It's about a majority taking power. And if you don't have a democracy that is based on justice and equality, the key is equality, you will end up with conflict. And we know there are plenty, hundreds of countries in the world that are democratic, but they are oppressive. The Sri Lankan government is faced with that same history that they have inherited from the colonial masters, as my brother here spoke about. There are all other countries that have taken power, overthrown colonial regimes that rule them, and set themselves as groups of elites, oligarchs, you name it, that take power, control the wealth of the country, and then oppress those who they want to keep out of sharing in the wealth. So the fundamental issues around democracy, it has to be rooted in a system that is equal, equality of social, economic, and political rights. You can have equal rights politically, but if that political formation controls the socio-economic functions of the state so that they control the wealth, you will still find divisions and breakdowns. If you look at issues around divisions in the country, it's not just that. There are other ways in which countries break down, and all of which I would touch on is rooted because of weak constitutional control, where the constitution is weak, even if it is based on simple democratic principles, and we celebrate the word democracy. It is actually also a dangerous word. I'll just illustrate this point. If you take something that's probably outside this meeting, the situation in Northern Ireland, where you have the Catholics fighting the Protestants, and vice versa. It could be a state that could be easily democratic, but you know that a majority is divided on Christian religious beliefs. And they are going to use that as an instrument to dominate a minority section of the Christian community. Now, what is going to happen? The minority will fight for justice and equal rights and try to break that monopolistic oppression. And when they fail through either demonstrations, petitions, and programs of rallies, and then repression that comes with the military and police, and violence and death, and then we have records, and then it becomes, there's no hope. The children that you grow up with would say, the only way we're going to solve this is take up arms. And it leads to armed struggle. It's a just struggle in the end. But those young children will be called terrorists by the regimes and the governments that control the UN at times as well. The UN has recognized just struggles and has protected those who fought for freedom, like in South Africa. But at the moment, they can blur the things. For example, what they've done in Sri Lanka, not now, but allowing a repressive system to take root and call everybody else terrorists. Nelson Mandela was called a terrorist. And I mean, we should never forget that, about how easily, when you fight for liberation and freedom,